okay, here's a thing for you. So we've got another copyright violation or claim the last week.
What did we violate?
Um,
Like, did you violate?
so remember, I played the video of the cash and transit thingy mabob
Oh
that went
my
down.
goodness.
No, but
Yeah.
this gets interesting. This just makes you understand how, in a sly way, some people are making money. Okay, so I get this copyright claim come through on the email, and I go check it out, and it says, "Oh, okay, in this video you use some copyrighted material." So I said, "Oh, okay." So now I can go and see who the copyright belongs to. Okay, so
Yeah.
bear in mind that the video that I showed, theoretically, the copyright owner is the company, the CIT company, right?
Yeah.
So when I go and see who owns it, I was like half expecting it was going to be some like news agency or something in
Yeah.
South Africa, right? But it wasn't. It was a newspaper in Vietnam. Yes. Right.
That is really interesting, dude.
Okay. And the deal was there is that if our channel or our videos were monetized, the money would go to them as the copyright holder. So what that means is those guys have taken, there must be somebody that's looking at all these videos and thinking, okay, this is going to be like a viral video. Okay.
Yeah. We're
And
gonna
people are going
copyright
to
it.
repost it and whatever. So they then log create a thing with YouTube and say, claim that they've got the copyright on that video,
Yeah.
right? And people might not know that. And what's happening in the background is that if your channel is monetized, they get the money, their ad revenue money
Yeah.
for that
There's
segment
some,
or
there's
for
some
your video.
unscrupulous individuals on the net. But did you lodge the dispute?
Yeah, I
Like-
lodged the disputes and I said, those are not the copyright holders. And then I said,
Yeah.
it's also, it's a video that's in the public domain. So, they shouldn't have a claim on it anyway. And I just said, yeah. So basically what it is, it says, yeah, so I had a quick look at this on YouTube and it says, how does there's this thing that's called a content ID that gets created for that content.
Yeah.
And basically how it works is it says the copyright owners can use a system called Content ID to easily identify and manage their content on YouTube. Videos uploaded to YouTube are then scanned against the database of files that have been submitted to us by the content owners. The copyright owners get to decide what happens when the content in the video on YouTube matches a work they own. And I mean, remember, they should have created the video, not the video is being created by someone else and somehow, whatever.
Yeah, but if they bought the rights to it, then they own it, regardless of the origins.
Well, do you think the Vietnamese newspaper contacted the CIT company and said, "Hey, listen, can we copyright this material on your behalf?"
But I think it's like most things. If you haven't got a patent for it, somebody can copy you and patent themselves, and they own the patent.
Sure.
They may not in the intelligence behind it.
Exactly. And I'm sure there are people out there that do that, like domain names. People just go and buy domain names, ding, 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 ding. And then one day, oh, man, I want weekendcrack.com. And some other guy saw it and said, okay, you know what, I'm going to go create a weekend crack. And then one day, the bearded fan is going to come knocking on my door and say, I want that domain. And I'm going to say to him, you can have it for $100. Right. I mean, there are people out there that do that to make money, I suppose. But I'm just saying, oh, sorry, I forgot to take my medication this morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is that it's just somewhere in the background, people don't realize that there are other people that are going out and claiming their content.
I think it's a
and
wild
then
west,
making money
man.
from it.
I think it's a wild west at the moment in terms of like, remember the previous video, Al Jazeera had a copyright to it, and it wasn't even the Al Jazeera video.
Exactly.
It wasn't the content created by Al Jazeera. It's like, it's just a wild west at the moment where like everybody's doing whatever they want. or over
Well,
the
I
can.
suppose in a way, like you know, you're referring to the Neuralink video that we showed a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
So the thing is that Neuralink, when they put out a video, a promotional video, they should go onto YouTube. And like Lester was saying, if you design something and you want to put it out into the public domain, before you do that, you go and patent it, right? Likewise, if Neuralink is now creating this sort of content, they've got to go out and go onto YouTube and wherever and say, okay, this is our material, and copyright it, or even
Well,
flag it as common use or public. You know, they can put it out there,
yeah.
right? And they can say, listen, you know, people can use
GPL.
this. It's not a problem. It's
GPL
there for
license
common use.
agreement.
Please, you know, by all means, advertise Neuralink for us. Not a problem.
Concepts of freeware.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about freeware.
You know
earlier
what
on.
annoys
But what
me
I'm
about
saying
this,
is,
though?
by doing that, sorry, Lester, just by doing that, they are protecting the rest of us from these guys, and you can call them scammers if you would really want to call it that. Anyway, sorry, Lester, you were saying?
What annoys me is you've got all this kerfuffle to go through now to respond to those claims and investigate all this. I remember when we put that out, Oleg and I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It didn't come
No,
up
we
on
couldn't
our
see
stream.
it.
Didn't it?
No, it came out on the live
On the-
stream, but we
yeah.
couldn't see it.
Oh, bugger. Sorry.
No, I
Anyway.
completely agree with you. I think GPL, like for that type of content, is perfect. Like what Neuralink would want to do is they want to advertise the achievement of what they managed to achieve as wide as possible, right? Because they're not interested in monetizing the video, right? Because it's peanuts for them. Let's just face it, right? But they want to make sure that people discuss it, share it, view it, you know, like generate
Pass it on.
generate some discussion around it, you know, excitement, whatever you want to call it, right? But yeah, it's just crazy. I think it's like from the YouTube and like content creation perspective, it's a wild west at the moment where like people have to prove that they're original tweet owners and like
It's crazy.
stuff, man.
Oh, it is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I look at, you know, I think when these technologies come out, and then, you know, I would imagine 5 years ago, you could post
Yeah.
something on YouTube and YouTube wouldn't even detect that it belonged to someone else. Then they went and created the technology to genuinely protect copyright owners of content.
Yeah.
And they've created, now what happens, they create a new situation where like now other people can claim content and so on. So those people that are generating that content now need to know that they need to go and register their content, even if they don't want to monetize it, to protect people. Well, I don't know. Anyway, so that's what happened during the week.
That's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. So, and I mean, last
Should we
week
try it again? What else have we got to play?
yeah. I was thinking, should we be copywriting our material? You know, each
Well,
episode that we
You should
generate.
for real, you should, because
Yeah,
before
for
you
real.
know it, your copyrights will be owned by some Vietnamese company, you know.
Well,
All
exactly.
51 episodes, you know,
Exactly.
all 51, and then you go and prove that it wasn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, just talking about that, I mean, Lester mentioned patents. The other thing is trademarks, right?
Yeah.
So I once was listening to a podcast where a guy was talking about, is it necessary to trademark your brand or whatever? And the guy was saying yes, but not for the reasons that you think, right?
Yeah.
The reasons why you should trademark something is to protect yourself, right? Not so that you can prevent other people from using your trademark. Other people are going to do that. What you are preventing is someone else going and taking the trademark and taking you to court.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a different way of looking at it. Why do I trademark this? Well, I just do it to protect myself. So if I create a brand, let's say Nerve Apparel as an example, or Weekend Crack, right? And let's say we've done 500 episodes of the Weekend Crack, right? And let's say it's monetized and we're earning some money from it on YouTube and whatever. Like, you know, we've had a Joe Rogan moment, right? And someone else goes and trademarks Weekend Crack.
Yeah.
And then they go to the lawyers and say, hey, those guys are using my trademark. And what do? They come and they take all the revenue that we've generated through the Weekend Crack. They have legal right to that.
Yeah. You know what I was just thinking? Just trying to like switching the topic, but maybe like maybe 500 years from now, when the civilization completely changes to Weekend Crack, is going to be like the chronicle of the 20th century. You know, it's like the only living record of what transpired during that time.
Yes, was the Weekend Crack.
Was the Weekend Crack.
We'd be so lucky.
I mean, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like none of us are going to be around by then, you know, it's like, but it would be quite funny that, you know, people's going to be talking about Weekend Crack, like, you know, Gospel of Thomas, you know.
Good thing there wasn't, because I mean, there was no Gospel of Thomas, so we'll fill that.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I'm saying it. It's like, just to avoid your copyright issues and trademark
yes. Just in case, the Gospel of John is owned by someone else.
Yeah.